So Chris, I understand that you initially turned down this role. Why was that?
There was a couple of reasons. First off, it was a big commitment. It's a 6-picture deal, and 6 movies. They can spread that out over a long period of time, and that's a big decision to make for that big of a chunk of time. And the worry was that if one of the films comes out, and if the first film does well, and if there's a big shift in lifestyle, I've made movies for a while, but I've never really had to change too much about how I live. And if this movie affected that, I didn't know how I would respond. And the problem is, if I didn't respond well, there's no opportunity to retreat. There's no chance to say, you know what, I gotta take a break. I'd like to go back to Boston, maybe reassess, get my head back on straight. 6-picture gig, it's basically like, well, guess what? You gotta work again in 3 months, so figure it out. And that was just intimidating.
So what was it that won you over in the end?
It was that it was so scary. The fact that I was so scared of it, it just kind of felt like that's exactly what you should be doing.
The fear of success is a thing that almost sounds irrational. It's almost something that sounds stupid to say out loud, because usually people are driven by the opposite. Usually people are driven by the fear of having wasted their time, having put their time into something, so much of their time into something, and that thing not amounting to anything. It almost feels like they've done it all for nothing, right? And for a lot of people, the fear of failure is the driving reason for them not taking risks in life, for them, remaining in comfortable situations and not stepping out of their comfort zones, because they feel it'll be too much work to get back to where they were if they were to deviate themselves from where they are, to do that thing that they want to do, whatever it is. But the fear of success is almost it's almost an is arrogance the correct term? It's almost the idea of success scaring somebody. It's almost an arrogant thing, because what is it that makes you think that you're going to be successful? And for me, this is something that, since I started this YouTube channel, for me personally, it's something that I've struggled with. I've had so many ideas over the years that I wanted to pursue, but in my head, I think, oh my God, but what if my video actually really, really does well? And it concerned me. Like, it genuinely would scare me, because I would think, like, I just don't know what I would do. I don't know how me suddenly blowing up one day would affect, like, my life, my immediate family, my friends, how they think of me, how they view me. I was very much on the fence about that, and it might seem like a bit of a ballsy thing to say, but there is no doubt in my mind that I'm capable of doing this YouTube thing. I've come to the conclusion in my mind that the only thing that is not letting me be where I would want to technically be in YouTube is not wanting to be where I want to be, because I'm almost like, how is this gonna affect my life? Like how are my friends gonna see me the same if one day I wake up and I have 500,000 subscribers on YouTube? Like, my friends would know, and I'm thinking, would my friends still be normal with me? Because I wouldn't want to just be known as the YouTube guy, or I wouldn't want it to make things weird. I want things to, sometimes I want things to stay the same. But other times I feel I have absolute belief in myself. I believe that I have the ability to make real good videos, like real different things that I don't see people making that are from where I'm from. I live in Dublin, Ireland, but no disrespect to anybody else, but I don't think anybody thinks like I do. And the only reason why I don't express these thoughts is because I find myself being afraid to succeed because of what it could mean. the only reason I say this is because I see the way that people who blow up are treated. You know, people who do really well for themselves, all of a sudden, like, they're just a dickhead, or they're annoying, or there's always this negativity around people when they seem to do well for themselves. And it's kind of concerning from the outside looking in for somebody who wants to do well for themselves, because I feel like I know that I don't see those people that way. I don't think of people who blow up like out of nowhere one day. I don't think like, what the did he do or she do to deserve that? It just is what it is. It's the game, you know? But there's so much envy and hatred, and how could you be complaining about anything? You're rich. You know that way? And I don't want to have to like not be allowed to be a human being, because it feels like you're not. It feels like once you do well for yourself on YouTube or TikTok or Twitch or in film or on television or in music or in anything where the idea is that you get a lot of money, it feels like you're almost not allowed to be a human anymore. Like you're expected to be more than human. When I don't really want to be more than human, because I'm human. Like I understand the things that could come with what I want to be, because I see myself genuinely, and regardless of how stupid it may sound right now, on the 21st of January 2026, I see myself behind the camera on a real movie set, like really doing serious like cinematography and director stuff. That is what I want to do. That is what I want to be, you know? So for me to achieve what I want to achieve, I need to start right here on YouTube. I need to make the right things the right way, and I believe in myself, and I believe that I can do that, and I always have believed I could do it. But it's just that fear, because sometimes I'm like, God, like, I don't know what it would mean for the relationships with my friends. Like I don't know if one day someone who I considered my friend would ask me for something, maybe monetary, maybe for me to share one of their videos, maybe for me to post something of their business, and I decide to say no, and that person just turns around and becomes, I guess, like negative and mean and evil towards me because I wasn't willing to do this thing for them. And then maybe they'll just scroll through the chats I had with them and start posting the things that I've said to them in private publicly, and then what am I supposed to do? It almost makes me think that if this happens, how do I trust the people I know in my real life? Because we've all seen this a million times of people who blow up, and then the people in their life, like, you would think it would be people who they don't really know, but it's always the people closest to them. It's their brothers or sisters or best friends who seem to just snake them as time goes by. They seem to like backstab them and post private things about them, or one day, God forbid, like my ex decides, you know what, I don't really like him anymore. I don't like that he's doing well for himself. I'm gonna say all these things about him, and everyone's gonna believe me, because that's the way it works. That's the way it works. And what am I supposed to do in that situation? These are the things that I think about. These are the things that concern me with being big on YouTube or being big at anything. But that scrutiny and the criticism and all of those things, they are part of the game. I can't eat my cake and have it. You get me? Like, it's part of what I want to do. It's part of who I want to be. And there is no world, you know. Sometimes I feel like Marty Supreme. Like, failing at this doesn't even come into my consciousness, right? Like, it's never been an idea that I won't be able to do it. But it's the idea of, I don't want my life to change that much. I don't want it to, but I understand that if this is what I want for myself, for my future, it's gonna have to change. That's the way it works. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way the game goes. And this video is me letting you guys know, as well as me telling people who don't know me and who are looking for this video looked to this video because they kind of felt the same way. It just depends on the people around you. It's easy for me to think about situations in the recent past, like the Ty Lil situation, you know? Like him and that girl had a consensual like thing going on between the two of them. And because she didn't feel like, she almost, I guess she felt embarrassed by the situation and turned around and said that he essayed her in the end. I couldn't even imagine what I would do in that sort of situation. Do you get me? I couldn't imagine. And imagine if he never recorded the video. Imagine, he'd be done. And I don't want to have to think that anybody would do me so wrong like that, but I understand that that's what's gonna come with this. And it's very scary. It's so scary, but I still want to do this. I still want to make real videos. I want to make stuff that makes people feel something, you get me? More than just laughing and silly stuff. So I will still be doing gaming content, I will, but from now on, it's going to be going to the other channel, to the MAB Show channel. I'll be playing games on stream. I'll be uploading videos as normal, but they'll be from stream clips. I won't be sitting down and recording gaming videos anymore because I want to do like different videos now. It's that time. This was my New Year's resolution. It was to really take YouTube seriously, and if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna need to make some changes here. So this channel, yeah, if you want to watch gaming stuff, from now on it's going to be on the MAB Show channel. But this channel, the MAB channel, from now on is going to strictly be creative stuff, you know, idealistic stuff like this. And if you believe that, if you're like me and you believe that succeeding it sounds very audacious, but you're scared of succeeding, it just depends on how bad you want it. I understand, for me, that if I don't do this right now, I will have to I guess get a job, like get a normal job. I'm in my last year of college. After I'm done this year, by God's grace, I'll have my bachelor's of science, and I can do whatever I want with that. I already have experience working in an industry to do with that, so I could, like, realistically, the normal thing, the thing that anyone with their head on straight would do, is just graduate college, get their job, and make their money that way. You know, I'm sure I could be comfortable doing that, but it's just not who I want to be. It's just not who I am. You know, I don't want to live a life I don't want to live. I don't want to have a midlife crisis where I think to myself, like, why didn't I pursue the YouTube the way I wanted to? So I want to give this everything. Like, I want to give this 150%. And if I give it 150% and it's still not enough, then I can, you know, I have my degree, it's not going anywhere. I have my work experience, it is not going anywhere, you know? But for these next few months, I'm going to really, really, really turn it up on YouTube for myself. I'm only going to make things that I believe are worthy. So, Chris Evans explained it at the beginning of this video, but that idea of being afraid of succeeding is something I want to eradicate in my life. And the only way to do that is to succeed. That's the plan. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.